This is a story all about how my roommate, my bestest friend, I say she's my wife, bought a Jeep. Tell us why this dealership in Lake City, Florida, Jeep dealership in Lake City, Florida, has had the Jeep since December of 2024, and it's still not fixed. And when we got it back, it had somebody else's damn clothes in the trunk. Some lady's clothes was in the trunk.
Ooh.
So,
ain't no way they got my truck that long. They been joyriding in that thing. Had to be.
my friend buys this Jeep from Morristown Jeep. Turns out they sold it to her with an open recall.
Okay.
So she took it back to get serviced. They said, okay, it's serviced, it's fixed, whatever, it's safe to drive. Okay. She takes her and the kids down to Florida, like about a week and a half later. And so at this point, she's had the vehicle like 2 weeks. And it breaks down on the way there. She has to stay at a state trooper station until her dad gets there to pick her up. He had to drive like 2 hours to pick her up.
Okay.
So the Jeep has an extended warranty on it. So she's like, okay, I'm going to take it to this Lake City Jeep over here, because that was the closest one. She had it towed over there.
All right.
Lake City Jeep has had it since December of 2024. And at first it was supposed to be like whatever that recall thing was. And since...
Wait, she said 2024? This must be an old video.
The original Jeep dealership marked that recall as fixed, they couldn't just file it on the recall, so then it cost them money. So they tell them, hey, look, Morristown is like, we're going to make it right, and we're going to pay for it to be fixed. So they send the money over.
Okay.
Well, then, finally, after arguing, they say, okay, the Jeep is fixed, you could come pick it up. So... Okay. I take off work and everything. Now, mind you, I'm having to, like, bus everybody around because at this point, April doesn't have a vehicle and we all have jobs and we have 3 kids. So, then, I take off work, drive to Florida, and drop her off with her family. They take her the next day to get the Jeep. She makes it 5 minutes down the road. Now, mind you, some of the maintenance that was already supposed to have been done, and we have receipts, baby. We have receipts, okay? So, the first Jeep dealership, one of the things they wanted to service it when she took it back in was an oil change. Same thing at Lake City. There was supposed to have been an oil change there, too, because they said the thing was a recall on the oil cooling system. So, like... baby, you can't change the stuff in the engine without taking the shits out, okay? So, they make it.
All right, so they said it was a coolant thing. So why did they want to change the oil? I think the oil change is just extra money that they trying to get. Y'all know how the dealerships be, man. They gonna try to write up some shit. They gonna try to get some more money. The cooling system ain't got nothing to do with an oil change, but okay.
5 minutes down the road, it's smoking. Ooh. It's smoking so bad she thinks it's on fire. Oil is just shooting everywhere. Just going.
Sound like they forgot to put the oil cap on or something.
Fucking everywhere. Guess what color the oil is? Not golden. It's not golden.
Not
like
brown?
If the car had recently had two oil change.
What color is it?
It's black. It's like thick. It's old. You know what I'm saying? If you know anything about cars, you put it in, it looks kind of like a goldeny cooking oil.
Yeah.
It comes out, it's black.
Black.
There's no reason for that if it's brand new. It shouldn't be like that.
What's going on, Hustle Nation? I just want to announce that I have made a better deal for you guys on whdacademy.com. This is the best deal yet. For $247, you can get all 19 lessons. And if you pay an extra $300, you can get auction access to Copart and IAA only, okay? So for just $550, you guys can have all 19 lessons teaching you how to properly inspect cars, what to look for, all my tips and tricks, everything I know for just $247. And you can also get my plug inside so you can get auction access to Copart and IAA only. for $300. So for $550, you literally get everything. Okay. Now, if you are not interested in my full course, that's okay. You can just get the monthly membership option where you can just pay $97 a month. You can pay as you go. So essentially you could just pay the $97, come in, pay your $300 to get auction access to Copart and IAA and cancel the membership. All right. But you can also pay as you go if you do not have the whole entire $247. You are saving by getting this option. So make sure you guys understand that you're saving about $150 compared to paying $97 a month for 4 months to get the whole entire course, right? You can also pay with Klarna or Afterpay. You can see your options here. Right.
So she has the car took back over there. All right. This is sometime early 2025. She takes the car back over there.
Damn. Okay, what she say? September? We in 2025? Damn.
They're like, oh man, it needs a new engine. And the whole time, this man is like, you guys should just trade this car in and buy this other vehicle. And we're like, we don't want to do that. We want to fix this one. We just bought this one. You guys should fix it. We don't understand how more things end up being wrong with it. And so then they supposed to replace the engine in it because the engine was apparently messed up because of whatever happened with the oil cooling system. I don't know. I'm not a diesel mechanic.
Okay, new engine. Let's go.
So then I called, like they've had it forever, and it's just like there's more problems, oh we can't get this, oh we can't get that, whatever. I called like a month ago finally because not a month ago this dude named Joe that we was talking with, he was like oh yeah, it's about to be ready, I'll let you know. Because we started texting with them because we realized they was lying a while ago, because the warranty company was like, it's kind of weird if it's been broke down, like where did all these miles come from? Because they was almost acting as if we was lying about taking the car over there when we did, because the mileage was so off. And we were like, nah bro, like they've had it, and we've got like receipts like they've had it.
You gotta remember your miles when you take your car someplace. That's very important. I gotta even remember that.
So then we realized though when like the oil change happened, we was like, okay, so they didn't change the oil, so what else didn't they do? You know what I'm saying? So we just started texting him. So he texts and he's like, yeah, it's almost ready. And then nothing, crickets. We messaging him, we're trying to hit him up, he's not saying nothing at all. We're like, what the hellionte's going on? So then we're calling. Can't never get a manager on the phone. Can't never talk to nobody. They're like, we don't know nothing about nothing. Finally, I get somebody on the phone. This man pick up the phone and he's talking about, we don't have a car under that name. I said, well, baby, you better have a car somewhere that's under our name, because I will call the 911 about this, because I'm done fed up. So he goes, okay, well, let me go talk to my boss real quick. And I was like, okay, go talk to your boss. He comes back, he's like, oh, yeah, we have the Jeep. It's been done for like a month. I'm like, okay, well, can we come pick it up? And they're like, yeah, come pick it up. So we go pick it up. So guess what? We get it back. It's got some lady's clothes in it and 10,000 more miles than when we dropped it off. And so we looked up, like, because people were like, what if it's on?
So they've been giving a truck to the wrong person. She been driving it? No way.
On a tester or whatever. So we like look up some stuff and we do some math, and we're like, okay, even with all that stuff considered, there's still like at least 8,000 miles that are unaccounted for, and this lady's clothes in the back, and we don't know whose clothes they are because we didn't drop it off with no clothes in it. It was empty when it got dropped off. So whose clothes are these? It's like 3-4 bags of clothes in the back. So then a little message pops up on the Jeep, and it's like 190 miles until the car won't turn back on. DEF sensor, something like that. I have a picture of it anyways, because like I said, we got the receipts. But so she takes it to our dealership. Trust, love them, they're good. They sold me my Jeep. And They're like, so you said this was a new engine. Weird thing about this Jeep, this diesel Jeep, they discontinued them, so I don't know where he would have got a new engine from, but we'll look at it for you. He looks at it. He's like, I don't think it's new. I think it came from a junkyard. Also, they left a bunch of stuff like not put together correctly and hanging down. And there's like a fucking sensor that's just been hanging out, and that's you've been crashing into it when you turn your car wheel. Like it's just been in there getting smashed. Oh so I just don't understand what Lake City Jeep is doing if they've been paid over $10,000 to fix this Jeep and it's still not fixed. And it's apparently like lines are crushed that were supposed to have been replaced. The engine that was supposed to be new ain't fucking new. There's like a whole bunch of stuff in there like that's fucked up in it. And then these unexplained miles. Does anyone have any information on what it could be? Also, how did that lady's clothes get in the trunk? Who was driving our vehicle around? Is that why it didn't get properly fixed? Because they was just like, let's go on a road trip? I don't know. I think the Jeep needs to explain some things. Because I get that these dealerships are like independent or whatever, but they're really making you fucking look bad. Because both of my Jeeps have been from Jeep dealerships. I had very good experiences. And then Morristown, it was like, meh, and they kind of did like the right thing by paying. But then Lake City is just like dogging y'all's name and being crazy. You can't get nobody on the phone. Do you really want them representing you? As a business owner myself, I wouldn't want people to think that. Like if I had an artist that was doing that, I'd fire their ass so fast. I think Jeep needs to like figure something out. Somebody needs to be held responsible. Also, we need a new vehicle. At the very minimum. This has affected our whole entire household financially. Like at least $32,000 we're out right now because of this. It's crazy.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. No, so I don't got a new engine. I don't know why this phone is so loud. So I didn't get a new engine. Why is they pay? I thought so a recall. Well, it started off the recall. Recall is supposed to be free. My truck just had a recall not too long ago. It was free. How long did they have it? I think they gave it back the same day. I think I think it was about the next day. But still, okay, boom, you do that. Now it's they like, damn, it's some more shit. After they get it back, the fucking coolant thing burst. Damn, but did the coolant thing burst? If they fixed the coolant with the recall and the coolant thing, it just depends, man. I'll have to go back and listen to it again, but okay. I don't know, but I know that shit ain't right, bruh. I know that shit ain't right. But as long as the recoil didn't cause this issue, you see what I'm saying? Now, if the recoil caused this issue, then okay, we gotta talk about something. But if it didn't have nothing to do with nothing, okay, cool. I ain't gonna lie, I think the recall, because I had a recall on my truck and it was for a program update. After the program update, the fan would stay on after you turn a car off for a while. Next thing I know, my check engine light come on months later though. But it's like, oh, it need a battery now. Yeah, because that fucking update y'all did got my goddamn fan just going and going and going and going until it finally cuts off or whatever. It cools the engine off. Like, man, I don't know. But that dealership definitely in the wrong, man. I don't know. She got to probably look more into that because, I mean, at that point, I feel it like, damn, I probably would have traded that bitch in. Like, a car that I just got causing me all this. I don't know. Probably would have been in a hole, though. That's the only thing. But Oh no, I will need to figure out why it's closed in here and it's like y'all been driving my shit. Like that is the main thing. So I don't know who she need to talk to, the boss, the general manager, not the general manager, the regional manager. But I think they all independent though, like she said. I don't know. Hopefully she figured that out though. That's crazy. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. Hustle Nation, if you need a broker in order to buy a car off Copart or IAA and you do not have your dealer license, you can use eRepairables. You can sign up and buy cars for as low as $25, which is actually cheaper than making your own account at Copart or the insurance auto auction yourself. Or you can just pay $200 for the whole year and have an all-access bidding pass at these two auctions. And as you can see, they are in most states. Click the link in the description if you're interested. What's going on, Hustle Nation? Just want to tell you guys about this Auto A Stat research tool that I use to find out what's the history on all these Copart and insurance auto auction cars. It gets to tell you the auctions, how many auctions it's been to, the mileage, if the car has been staged by a dealer, as you can see. So if you would like to use this research tool, make sure you click the link in the description below.